Everyone's waiting for that light bulb moment, that one trade or that one strategy that will make everything easy. We treat trading like a lottery ticket, waiting for our luck to turn. But that click doesn't just happen when you find the perfect setup or the perfect trade. It happens when you stop looking for the excitement and start falling in love with the process.
So trading clicked for me when I started doing a few of these key things. So please make sure you're making notes on this, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, but let's get straight into it. So the first things first is you need to figure out how to rewire your dopamine. Okay, and what do I mean by rewire your dopamine? Obviously, look, we're traders. We want to be successful, we want to make money, but you need to stop chasing the dopamine of winning and making money and reward yourself by sticking to a system. So for me, for a bunch of years, I didn't really have a proper system. I had a strategy and I was more interested in knowing where the market is going and trying to catch that move than having a fixed system in place that it doesn't matter if it is going there or not. I just have to stick to my rules. I have to stick to this trade if I don't believe it's going there, but the strategy tells me it's ticked all the points. I have no choice but to take it. The same way that even if I believe that price is going in one direction, but it doesn't meet my rules, I can't take the trade. So I want you to think to yourself, like, how many trades can you go by sticking to your system? Is it 1? Is it 3? 10, 20 trades, like, how many can you get in a row that is stuck directly to your system? Win or lose, bear in mind. So imagine you've gone 20 trades losing, right? But you stuck to a system. Cool, you might feel terrible. That's minus 20%. However, at the end, you're gonna know what is working and what isn't. And the biggest characteristic of a successful trader is someone that can just stick to their rules, so that when they develop on their strategy or find what works and what doesn't, you can now actually stick to that. And it sounds really easy, but it's just not. So what do I want you guys to do is something practical with that, right? I want you to, first of all, realize that following rules is more important than making money. But by following the rules, you are going to make money. Focusing on making money will naturally make you break your rules, okay? So what I did, and something that really changed the game for me, was I implemented a reward and punishment structure. So if I break a rule, for example, I'll give you one of them, which is like entering before 8 a.m. UK time. If I enter at 7:55, 7:30, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if I win the trade or lose the trade. If I do that, I've got a 2-day trading ban. And the reason why that was big for me is because I just loved getting in a trade. That's why I was entering before 8 a.m. in the first place. That's my rule. You might have a completely different set of rules. That's no problem. But for me, it was, I want to make money so badly. I had to tell my missus, say, listen, I've broken my rule. Like each day I'm going to send you a screenshot of my MT4. You're going to see the time. And if I've broken my rule, you cannot let me trade for 2 days, because I don't even trust myself at that point, So that's what I did. I implemented that, and that significantly helped me. Why? Because, bro, I like trading. I want to get in a trade. I know that. I understand myself. So by banning myself for 2 days, do you know how annoying that is? Watching the next day a setup play out that that was my complete strategy. I should have been in that. That is painful to me. So I have to implement this rule. But what happens if you stick to your rules? What if you stuck to your rules for a week? Let's say you didn't take a trade because there was no setup. So let's say you did take a trade, but you lost. But everything was in the plan and stuck to your rules. Doesn't matter win or lose. You need to reward yourself. Don't know what that reward might be. It might be going for some nice food. It might be buying a new challenge, go shopping. I don't know what that might be for you, but you need to find a reward system that works for you, that makes you feel like you've actually done something good, because sticking to your rules, like I just said, is the most important thing in trading. I can't stress it enough. It doesn't matter what strategy you trade. If your strategy is unprofitable, you will find that out by sticking to your rules. But you need to understand and have a set of rules, okay? After a certain point, you're gonna know, do you know what, this strategy just doesn't work and I need to change something. Now, this brings me on to my next point, which is data over faith. Now, you can't have discipline without belief, and you can't have belief without evidence. Why do you personally hesitate when your setup appears? Think to yourself, it's because you don't actually believe that it works. Maybe you haven't got enough data pool of trades that you've worked with. Maybe you haven't seen a mentor actually go through these and implement their system live in the market. I don't know what your problem might be, but you need to have blinded faith in your strategy so that you can actually stick to it. And how do you get that? Well, one way, journaling. Journaling and backtesting. This is one of my backtesting sessions for the strategy that we teach in 945-9FX. And you can see I haven't even got a crazy win rate. It's 55%. It's not even crazy high. This is over 6 months, 37K. It's not insane, but I have the data. I have the data to go off. to really understand my strategy. I mean, even this, right? Here's some more data. I mark everything out. Everything I do has purpose, all right? I don't care if you see, you can happily take a screenshot of the strategy. I teach most stuff for free anyways. And I have trade examples, loads of trade examples. This is just on a Canva, but I've got Discord links that I've had for 3 years of all the trade setups that I've got. I categorize them. I get my data. I understand like what is my best performing hour, least performing hour. Can see the months that I've done, and I now trust my system. It doesn't matter if it loses. I took a trade yesterday on EU and it lost, and I'm not annoyed about it. Why? Because I know that over time my setup plays out. I don't have to manage my trades now. I don't have to manage my trades. I don't have to do anything outside of my strategy because I just know and I believe in it. And that's where you guys need to get to. You need to get to a point where you actually have genuine belief in your strategy, and I mean genuine belief. Seeing is believing. This is another thing, right? So this is something that I sent into, this is today, right? So the date is the 3rd of December. You can see it in the bottom left here. Iron up gold longs. I send in my breakdown of the entry model, but everyone knows it already. This is me in the trade right now. You can see my entry here. Stop loss at the bottom. Just currently in profit, but you know, my take profit's quite high up here. But really and truly, the way I see it is you need 50 trades to understand if something works or not. You can't do something based off 5 trades and then start tweaking it, or 10 trades and start tweaking it. You need a large data set. So backtesting will help you with that. But also in the live markets, trading alongside other people that are also trading the same strategy, because you'll start to understand what works for you. That's why being in a community is so important. So then we come to our final point, which is boredom is an edge and doing nothing is an active position. So what do I mean by that? Everyone says like, you know, sitting out on trades. I always used to think when people said I haven't taken a trade, why is that a good thing? I don't understand. And how do you come to that decision? Is it just a vibe? Are you just like looking at the markets and thinking, man, I don't want to trade? But then I would think, I don't understand how you come to that decision. And not a lot of people explain that properly. So for me, this is something that was very recent. I was risking lower in this period, and I also sat out of the market more than I usually would. Why is that? It's because we had just met a swing high point. I was bullish, so that was my target. But when we met my target, I still had my entry models. I still had a few things that I could have taken, but I just knew that these were lower probability market conditions. The same way, this is at lower probability market conditions. We're just chopping. And you want to identify that as early as possible so that you can stay out of the market. And on the flip side of things, when the market is extremely bullish, such as this, when you're looking at higher highs and higher lows, you know, coming into a discount, daily CRT, clean. That's when you're aggressive. You're entering every single position. You know, once you're experienced, like some of the other members, you're risking up. You know, these are the ones where you're passing a lot of accounts. You're passing a lot of accounts and getting a lot of payouts. In this, your model might not be playing out as well, but you need to understand what scenarios your model plays very well in and doesn't do so well in. Not every strategy is going to work at all times. It just doesn't. Let's say, for example, you were trading at this point and you were taking some losses. You don't suddenly start tweaking and changing your strategy. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go, okay, why wasn't my strategy working so well? Well, I know it works because I've got the data to prove it, and I've got all of these A+ setups that I've made, and I just know that at some point it's going to work. But it's not just about at some point. It's about understanding the conditions that your strategy works well in. And for me, for example, this in a nice trending market is absolutely spot on. My strategy cleans up. So I have faith in that. And when it's like this, I have no problem sitting out because I know that when the markets are like this, I do very well. So look, guys, I hope that was helpful. Honestly, this is what really made me click. If you have doubts about your strategy, just think to yourself, have I got enough data? Have I got a bunch of trades that have won that fit this setup that I can honestly say, do you know what? No, this does work. Because I know so many people that don't. They believe in a strategy, but when I ask them, show me 10 examples of your strategy playing out with a rule-based system, they can't show me it. So how can you believe in something? How can you put your money and invest into something when you don't even know if it works yourself? That's my tips for today. Let me know if there's any topics that you'd like me to cover in the future. But yeah, guys, subscribe and I'll see you guys in the Discord. Love.